Hello guys, it's Marla at Twinstrology, and this is a special report about the summer solstice. But first, let me just say that if you would like a personal reading with me or you want to find out more about me, you can visit my website, which is twinstrology.com. You can also find me through marlakelly.com. And also want to invite you to the workshop that I'm doing called Twin Flames Together. It's outside Chicago. It's actually in Aurora, Illinois, so it's a little bit southeast of Chicago. Southwest. And I'm going to be doing this with Dio Veselinoff, Kalina Melnar, Negla Alchemy, Debbie Dubois, and Terry Wilson. And this is going to be a whole weekend of working with you guys and working on shifting you. And it's all going to be driven by you that are coming and what you need to shift to the next level. This is going to be happening from June 30th until July 2nd. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And this whole month is going to be a big transformation for everyone. So if you need a little bit of extra help, this is a great place for you to come and get that. If you want more information, I'm going to put the link in the comments to the details and how you can get tickets. All right, the summer solstice is happening on June 21st at 12:24 a.m. for Eastern Standard Time. If you're in Pacific Time, this is going to happen for you on the 20th of June. And the summer solstice is the longest day of the year, and it's when the sun moves into the sign of Cancer. So the solstices and the equinox, what they actually are is the sun ingressing to the cardinal signs. The spring equinox is when the sun moves into Aries. The summer solstice, the sun moves into Cancer. The autumn equinox, the sun moves into Libra. And the winter solstice, the sun moves into Capricorn. These are the cardinal signs. And these are the signs that start things. They're new beginning energy. And that's why when the sun moves into them, and it represents a change of season, and it represents newness. So the summer solstice is the longest day of the year, and it represents the triumph of light over darkness. So you can imagine that this is going to be a pretty important time. The sun also represents our journey of enlightenment. And also the sun represents the masculine energy. So the solstice, I feel, is going to be a big wave of awakening consciousness. Everyone's going to be shifted up to the next level from wherever they're at. But I feel that it's going to be especially significant for the masculine energies. So we're going to have this incoming energy of the sun. I'm just going to read the Sabian symbol for the first degree of Cancer. On a ship, sailors lower an old flag and raise a new one. So that's confirmation that this is new energy. The taking down the flag represents removal of the old energies, and raising the new flag represents a new start, new guidance. So yeah, we're all going to another level in our ascension. And remember, you can't get to union without ascending. So ascension is really important, and you should really put your focus on ascension rather than kind of worrying about your twin too much. So we're shifting out of the past. We're letting go of our old self. We're letting go of the ego. We're letting go of our old identity. And I'm being shown that that's very important. all the things that we previously have identified with. For example, I am Marla Kelly. I am a woman. I am an astrologer. I'm a tarot reader. I'm a mother. I'm a daughter. All these things are just identities. They're not the real me. The real me underneath all this is a soul. And so part of the work that you're doing or have done is the removal of the belief systems and the identities that you have come to associate yourself with, so that you can simply be your soul, which is your true, authentic self. Transformation. That's what's going to be happening at the summer solstice. Transformation. Letting go of the old, bringing in the new, putting your soul in charge, embodying another level of your higher self. That means having to be 100% authentic. No more hiding who you are. Moving past your fears. Having to come out of the closet in a lot of ways. Maybe having to come out of the closet as far as how spiritual you are. That's part of letting go of the old self. So for some, that's not going to be an easy time. For some, could be a time of dark night of the soul, depending on where you're at in your journey. And for many of the masculine, I feel they could be going through a dark night of the soul. So have patience with the masculine energies. But for those of you that have done a lot of clearing already, then you may not have to go through that. Or sometimes, the more we go in the ascension process, the easier it is to move past triggers. So sometimes, like when you're first starting out and you get triggered, and it might take a week or 3 days or 4 days to overcome that trigger. The higher you ascend, the quicker you can release whatever it was, whatever was the trigger. So maybe you get triggered and you can release it in an hour. So that's one of the nice parts of moving on in your ascension process, is it doesn't stay as painful as it does when you're just beginning. But you got to be brave, and you have to walk the path of your destiny now. This is opening up the gateway to your manifestation. But those are the steps that you must take. You must ascend. You must embody more of your higher self. You must become authentic. You have to go through the purification process. So, okay, so what I'm getting is that most of the first wave of twin flames are ready to come together. Okay, and of course, everyone has their own journey, so it depends where you're at in your journey. And I'm not going to say it's just first wavers, because I don't think there's any hard or fast rules. But I'm singling them out because of where they are on their journey. But that doesn't mean that maybe someone else was on some also accelerated course. But the work has to be done in order to get to this place. Okay, so if you don't come together with your twin right away, that doesn't mean you're not going to. And always when we have these shifts, I always hear about someone out there saying, well, if you're not in union by June 21st, when the summer solstice happens, then you're never going to come into union. Don't believe that garbage. There will be opportunities There'll be more opportunities down the line. Okay, this is going to happen in waves. Okay, so think of the ascension process as a ladder. And we're here, and we purge and balance, and then we shift. And then we purge and we balance and we shift. And we purge and we balance and we shift. And we keep going up and up. Every time we purify ourselves, our vibration goes up another level, another level. It's our consciousness climbing higher the more we purify ourselves. So we know that we're always in union, right? In the higher dimensions. But I think a lot of the thinking until this point has been that you're going to get into union in the 3D, and then you're going to start creating the third energy. But that's backwards. It's actually, you're always in union, but you're not always creating the third energy. You got to climb this ladder, and you get to a certain level, and then you start creating the third energy. And it's the third energy coming down to the third dimension or the fourth dimension that is actually going to create your union. And so this is a process that we have been going through. And I've been talking about the third energy, right? Coming down. Since last summer, this third energy, the third energy being the balance of the masculine and feminine and the higher dimensions and that creation coming down, coming down, coming down, grounding until what we have created through that third energy manifests. And that is going to bring the two of you together in this dimension. Okay, so it's not coming into union, then we create the third energy. It's through the third energy that we come into union. So that's why I'm saying you have to climb that ladder of ascension. You have to get to a certain spot, and that is when you start making the third energy and start bringing yourselves together. So that is what is occurring at the summer solstice. What I'm getting is that there is enough of the third energy grounding for many of the first wave of twin flames that they're going to start seeing that creation manifest, and as it comes into manifestation, it's going to be bringing the masculine and feminine together. So going back to the embodiment of higher self and that process. Okay, this is the process of alchemy, what we're doing, the creation of the third energy. It's taking two components and making a third component. That's what's being represented on this card, the Temperance card. You see the angel is mixing the 2 cups of water. You can see the 2 cups as the masculine and feminine. And they're each separate. But when the alchemist brings them together, they become a whole new energy. There is no separation. There's unity, or there's wholeness. Same thing when you have a baby and you have the masculine and the feminine energy come together, and they create a third entity. They create a child. And it's both the masculine and feminine in union, in unity. So the alchemists have what they call the philosopher's stone, or the white stone. And this is your real self, your God self. And you surrender to that God self when you reach this stage of ascension, and then you become the creator. And what you create is the third energy. So in my video for the Gemini new moon, I began to talk about this, but I don't think I was very clear. I used the myth of Isis and Osiris to demonstrate the third energy. Okay, Isis is the divine feminine, Osiris is the divine masculine. And remember, Osiris is killed and he's cut up into 14 pieces and his body is scattered. Isis recovers all of his parts except for his penis. She resurrects him and they have sexual intercourse using a golden phallus. And she conceives Horus, or they conceive Horus. But I was demonstrating that Isis and Osiris didn't conceive Horus or make the third energy from 3D sexual intercourse because Osiris didn't have a penis. So this is a metaphor for the third energy coming down from the spiritual realm and making something manifest, rather than, like I was saying before, coming from the 3D and raising it up. That's backwards. So when you come down to earth, your soul is split into two, the masculine and the feminine, and you're here experiencing duality. But there is the third aspect that we often forget about, and that is the third energy, or the creation. And twins cannot come together without the creative aspect. Your consciousness must join with creation. And it's through the creation of the third energy that the father and the mother, or the masculine and the feminine, are united. Until this third energy is created, they are separate. Okay? Until the third energy, they are two separate things. The third energy unites them. That is a complete fusion of the three. That's alchemy. And so it's when the third energy is high enough that the masculine and the feminine are pulled back together, the three, or the trinity, becoming whole once more and being able to ascend. And religions all over the world speak about three parts, or trinity: Father, Mother, Son, positive, negative, neutral, Isis, Osiris, Horus, God, Holy Spirit, and Christ, just for some examples. And the Holy Trinity, God the Father, the Holy Spirit, and the Christ, a lot of that iconography and myth is based on Isis, Osiris, and Horus, if you go back and study that. So Aristotle wrote, "All things are three, and thrice is all, and let us see this number in the worship of the gods. For as the Pythagoreans say, everything and all things are bounded by threes. For the end, the middle, and the beginning have this number in everything, and these compose the number of the Trinity. Each person also has the Trinity within, the masculine, feminine, and creative force. That's how we manifest. But through this process of balance and integration, we ascend." So again, we must balance the masculine and feminine by clearing away the old blocks, the old templates, everything that's keeping you from your true, authentic self. And once you do that, you reach that place of three in yourself, the masculine, feminine, and the creation. And like a phoenix, you rise from the ashes and you are transformed through the alchemical process and you are reborn. So as above, so below. When you do that, that gets reflected back to you through your union. So again, enough of the first wavers will have achieved this part, and combined with the frequency of the planet, okay, because that's another component, will begin the process of their manifestation and then reunion, and the rest of the waves will follow in the same way. Every time I do these videos, my voice cracks on something. Throat chakra activations. Okay, I'm just going to talk a little bit about, this is from the book Spiritual Alchemy and Saint Germain by Elizabeth Clare Prophet. There is really only one great self, and if you visualize the universe as a giant piece of paper with little circles drawn on it, like the monads of Leibniz, you can see each of us has one of the little circles, one of the monads. And when the little circle realizes that its real identity is this vast piece of paper, it is discovering the real self, which is the real self of all. And it discovers that there is only one self, and that self is God. Saint Germain comes to say that when we find this out, and when we really know it and can really understand it, then we will get the key to alchemy. That white stone, or that energy that is the great self, this great God source. Now, as long as the little monad, drawn like a circle on the vast piece of paper, thinks that that is the real self, it will have no real energy except the tiny portion upon which it is drawn, which is not sufficient enough for the works of alchemy. That tiny portion is not sufficient unto itself to transform itself or to experience the great alchemy of which we are speaking, and therefore we need to understand that the surrender of that little circle to the larger piece of paper upon which is drawn is the discovery of the inner self. We also need to understand that nothing is lost in that surrender, but everything is gained. This is the true path to oneness. It is the true path to brotherhood, the principle upon which the Great White Brotherhood was founded. The Ascended Masters realize that they themselves are simply circles drawn upon the infinite mind of God, and that they are one in that mind, and that as they are one in that mind, they have the all power of the universe. But if they think of themselves as separate monads, they would lose their power. In fact, if they thought so, they would never have become Ascended Masters in the first place, because the definition of an Ascended Master is one who overcomes time and space by relinquishing himself as that finite little circle drawn upon the infinite. He does not fear the loss of identity by the bursting of that membrane, but realizes that he is one with all. He is then the all in all. And so Saint Germain says, know thyself as the white stone from whence all thy creation must proceed in orderly fashion. When we have that self-awareness, we are ready to work and to walk as the alchemist. When we have it, we have the basic key. It simply takes the practice that makes perfect. And so there you have it. It's by the ascension process and realizing that you are not the circle upon the page, but you are the entire page, or you are God's source energy. When you realize that, that is the key to alchemy. And so that is the reason why you need to walk the ascension path in order to create the third energy and in order to reach reunion with your twin flame. And at this summer solstice, we are reaching that point where enough of the third energy has grounded for many twin flames, and that is going to unlock the key to their alchemist abilities and make way for their reunions. Okay, that was a lot. I drew some cards too, so let's talk about them real quick. All right, the first card, where the divine feminine is at the summer solstice. The Four of Wands. So things are coming to fruition. Your hard work's paying off, and your creation is manifesting, and that's what's represented on this card. And it's time for you to celebrate. Well, I just want to say it's not going to be necessarily easy. Not that I want to be the bearer of bad news, but just all right. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to just leave it, and we'll go through the rest of the cards. The second card for the divine feminine. The star. The star represents rebirth, healing, a time of major transformation, and a time where we begin to, again, see the results of our labor. And that there's always hope. That you are always being guided by the universe, by your higher self. This card can represent the seeking of higher spiritual truths as well. And hopes and dreams being realized. This is one of the best cards in the deck. And yeah, pretty amazing to have these two cards together for the divine feminine. And I think it shows that your hard work is paying off. I think what I was getting at before is that, yeah, this is great news, what's happening, but the struggle's not over yet. But this card is telling us to have hope, that even in our darkest moments, there's always hope. Not that we're necessarily going to be, reaching these darker moments, but people are tired. People are tired of walking this journey, and they're frustrated. And a lot of people are ready to quit. But definitely now is not the time to quit when many are so close. So this is where you need to really pull in to that spiritual warrior and keep pushing yourself. I think a lot of first wavers have Chiron and Aries, and that is the spiritual warrior. So call upon that power within yourself. The Romance Angels card for the divine feminine. Past life relationship. To me, in line with the other cards, is showing the return, the rebirth of a past life relationship. The cards for the divine masculine. The first card is Two of Swords. So this is representing a crossroads, like a time of indecision, not knowing which way to go. You're at this crossroads. What do I do? I'm saying that things are not necessarily going to be easy because the divine masculine is still in the process of their spiritual awakening. And I feel like there's still some levels that they need to reach within themselves before full reunion. Again, depends where you are in your journey. But remember, this is a reading for the collective energies. So this is the energy for most people in the collective. This card also represents balance. And so I feel that it's showing the masculine energy trying to get balance within themselves. A lot of them are dealing with some heavy things right now, and so it's hard for them to reach that balanced state. I think it's important too to realize that they're kind of blindfolded. They are not seeing the full picture yet. And this has to do with the current vibrations. It's just not fully time yet, or it's like they're still percolating. They're still cooking. They're not ready yet. They're not done yet. So they're not seeing everything. And in some ways, this is representing that stillness or being held back. Like, you know, we have this up. It's like a wall from currently going any further. Because they still have to confront some of their internal issues. So just like the feminine got blocked until they confronted their inner issues, the masculine, I feel, is being blocked until they do the same. Their second card is the Seven of Cups. So again, there's confusion. There's not clarity. I'm thinking as their consciousness opens up, they are seeing lots of options and stuff, but they're also kind of going, what the fuck? Excuse my language, but it's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to choose. There's all these choices. There's all these options. And, usually one is shown behind a curtain. Just like the divine feminine had to walk the path without clarity, so does the divine masculine, because part of this process is having faith. And that is how you tune in to your higher self. That's how you begin to trust that higher aspect of yourself and begin to see yourself as that instead of these identities. It's getting that intuitive information and trusting it and paying attention to the signs. And this card is suggesting that the masculine is getting signs, synchronicities, dreams, visions, all of those around the feminine. But again, like I said, they're just like, whoa, well, what am I going to do with all this? They need time to integrate it. The divine masculine is going through their awakening process very, very quickly. So we have to cut them a little bit of slack, I think. Now, their card from the Romance Angels is Retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. And this is showing us that they're confused and they need time to think and they need time to go within. And the way they need to do that is to retreat, go inward, be with themselves. And I actually fully recommend that everyone spend time retreating this month. I myself I'm taking very good care of myself this month. I'm focusing on my own nurturing, and so I won't be available so much this month. as I have been to, answer people's questions or to post things or to answer people's comments. This is a big shift. So take care of yourself, get sleep, eat healthy, relax, get into nature, meditate. All those things are so important right now. They're going to help you get through this shift. Okay, the cards for the third energy or the union energy. Normally I draw one tarot card here, but two came up. And the first card is the Hermit. And this card represents spiritual awakenings. It also represents getting in touch with the higher aspect of yourself. Getting in touch with your own inner light. Getting in touch with your innate wisdom and who you truly are. And then using it as a guide, as a shining a light for other people, and you becoming a guide for others. But of course, this is also the Hermit card. And what does the Hermit card mean? Retreat, stillness, quiet, going within. This card represents that the answers you seek are not out there. They're in here. And the only way to get in here is to take time to hear yourself, to hear your higher self. But again, this card represents stillness. It's not a time to take action. The other card for the third energy or for union, the Hanged Man. All right, well, that's a lot of cards having to do with stillness and going within. So the lesson here is it's not a time to take action. But I feel that what we're doing is we're going within, and we're sitting in that place of stillness. And it's from that place of stillness that we get in touch with our feminine energy, and we get in touch with the energy of receiving. And I feel that is what the message is telling you. Don't take action. That's the masculine. We've done enough action taking. Now we can relax and just wait for it to come to us. Those that are manifesting, I should say, you don't have to do anything else. It's coming. You just need to get ready to receive it. Create the space in your life to receive it. Get rid of the old. Like I said, the old labels, the old identities. Clear out your mental space. Clear out your home. Get rid of things in your home, material things. All of those things are going to help you open up a space to receive your creation. And this card is about the void and creating that void. And I feel that throughout this month, and some of us have been feeling it for a while now, but there is this feeling of a void, of blankness, of nothing. Many people are not feeling a strong connection to their twin right now. And that's okay. For many, there's a need to disconnect from the twin. And I'll tell you why. Because the energies that are coming in, they're actually better served by inward focus rather than creating drama with your twin. That's not beneficial at all right now. And it's safe for the feminine to pull back from the masculine. Because, look, guys, if you haven't realized this by now, but you reach a certain point, and it doesn't matter what you do, what you say, you can't control it. You are not going to shift your masculine half. There's nothing that you can say to them. There's nothing that you can show them. There's nothing that you can do for them that's going to awaken them any quicker than the schedule that they're on. Only God has the power to shift them. And so, if you keep trying to shift them somehow, if you keep trying to seek validation from them, it's only going to frustrate you, and that's only going to lower your vibration. This is where the trust comes in. The trust that this thing is coming together, not because of anything you're going to say to him or her or anything that they're going to suddenly do. It's coming in because of this third energy grounding. And so the best thing to do is just let go, surrender to the situation. And remember Saint Germain, the passage I read from the book about Saint Germain, and realizing that you are not that circle drawn on the paper. You are the entire sheet of paper. And as such, it's safe for you to let go. You are that whole sheet of paper. Why do you need this attachment to this person? They are you. The whole point of seeing that you are that sheet of paper is realizing that there is oneness, there is unity. Everything that is connected. So if you're still trying to grab a hold of them because you need that attachment, that's showing that you haven't reached that space. Now, that's not to be confused with wanting to be in union, because you can reach that space of detachment. You still love your twin. You still want union, but you're not obsessed with it. You're not obsessed with them, and you don't feel like you need to control the situation. This is where you get into that stage of surrender, or what do they call it? Radiance or something like that. Illumination, maybe. You're just, hey, if I know it's going to happen, I have faith. I have no idea how. And listen, nobody knows how it's going to happen. If you think you know, you don't, because this is well beyond anything that you can imagine. So you have to give up the control. I'm saying you don't need to chase. Chasing is going to confound the energy right now. Yet, on the other hand, I just want to point out, because everyone is on a different place in their journey, there are times, I feel, where you do need to reach out to the masculine energy. Okay, when you're at the early stages, sometimes you may need to reach out. You may need to communicate with them, and you may need to speak your truth to them. But then you get to a place where, hey, if I've done all these things, there's nothing more I can do except surrender. But it's all part of the process. And you'll see as you go through how all that process connected to bring you where you are. And the Romance Angels card for the third energy or union energy. Chemistry. There's a strong magnetic force here. Well, yeah, alchemy. It's chemistry. There's a force between the masculine and feminine energy that takes on a life of its own. It's always connecting you. It's always bringing you back together. It's always pulling you back together. Yet another reason why it's safe for you to surrender and just let this be and trust in the process. Trust, trust, trust. So, according to the cards here that I've pulled, it's not like for most people it's going to be instantaneous union, because the cards are telling me that we still have some work to do on our own. Especially the masculine needs this time to be alone. And it's an opportunity for the feminine to continue with her healing and integration while this is occurring. Remember, nothing happens without a purpose. So there's a reason for this. But things will start shifting. I feel like awakening processes will speed up even more after the summer solstice. All right, guys, that's my message. Hope that made sense to you. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you would like a personal reading with me, you can visit my website, which is twinstrology.com. And please follow me on Facebook at Twinstrology, because often I get more information. And I'm recording this video on, what is today? Today's June 4th that I'm recording it. So I may get more downloads about this information as we get closer to the solstice. And instead of making a video about it, I might just write an article or something like that. So if you follow me on Facebook, that's the best way for you to get the most up-to-date information from me. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Thank you for all your support, and blessings for the summer solstice.